from the PSIA-AASI satellite studios in I've moved, Portland, Oregon. I'm George Thomas. You're listening to First Chair, and what a guest we have tonight. We're visiting with Grace Center Du Oro. And did I get your name right, Grace?
You did great. Yeah, that was awesome.
Grace was a winner of the Three Cs Award from PSIA-AASI, and that was awarded to you at National Academy. Grace, you've got GCDO in your name. What are the three Cs?
Well, the three Cs on the plaque are communication, collaboration, and cooperation. But there's a bunch of different Cs that could apply to this kind of work and the things that we do.
What about those three Cs? And I mean, let's just take them first with communication. Why do you feel you were, one, nominated for that award and then recognized with the award?
Actually, I had a small crisis after being awarded this. And honestly, leading up to the actual ceremony, I was a little bit, suffering against some imposter syndrome, because I kept saying to my husband and teammate, he also coaches with us, this is just what I do. I'm just doing like my thing. I'm just at Hoodoo, greeting guests, teaching my lessons, just being me. And for some reason it's getting an award. Like, I don't really understand how that connects. But I also have an appreciation for how vital some of those skills are in creating an environment, not just within our lesson and with our students and our guests, but around our mountain with all the other different parts of our team, like the different departments and even the après-ski style, when we're all hanging out and building community and bonding that way. Being able to communicate with folks about not just what you see and what you think and all of that, but also where I'm coming from helps inform a lot about where we're going to go and lends that transparency that helps build some trust so that we can move forward in a way that is, mutually informed, maybe. Sometimes there's a power dynamic between students and their coaches, actually oftentimes. And the more that we can communicate with our students so that they see we're just them grown up, it really reduces that gap and helps us all kind of find equal footing and work on this, whatever the problem is we're approaching together.
But you're also saying it's not just communicating between coach and student, but it's among coaches and coaches. It's you and your staff.
100%. I've been a leader in certain capacities within my team, but I've always just been another coach. We're always leaning on each other. So when I have a difficult student, the people I want to talk to about it are my teammates. When I have a really successful lesson and my fellow coaches come up to me and ask, like, how did you get over that emotional, speed bump at the beginning? Or how did you guys do whatever it was? I don't know. There's been a lot of lessons. So I think it's really important to identify that resource that exists for you as your teammates, your supervisors. We're all cut from the same cloth and we all love the same thing that we do. So being really open with each other and honest with each other and clear about what we can and can't do and what we're, willing to help with and things like that. It just smooths the road.
Now, it sounds like you're bringing us into the next C, which would be collaboration.
Yeah, well, these three Cs, they go together, I feel, pretty naturally. I think of it this way. The communicating is when I talk to you, right? I'm telling you whatever it is. Oftentimes it's how I'm feeling. So I talk to you. The other half of it then, though, is I need to listen to what you're saying, because that's how we cooperate. It's not just what I bring in, it's also you. So now we're on the same ground. We're both communicating. We're both cooperating. And then if we do that third thing of arriving at a decision together and working together, then that's the collaborating. So it really does very naturally lend to the other and cycle through, like so many of the good balancing structures we have in our skiing does. It all kind of leads to the next one. So yeah, the three Cs feel very holistic to me, that they're all kind of three sides of the same shape. And that's just showing up and doing your job as best you can and authentically and being open to learning and working together.
And how does the commitment fit in there?
Well, for me personally, skiing wasn't something that I had easy access to ever growing up. And the only reason why I got time on it is because my mom, actually into her 40s, she found skiing and loved it and became a volunteer ski patroller. And so I would go with her on her weekends where she would be working at the mountain. And that was my model, was you work Monday through Friday and then you saddle up and go to the mountain for the weekend if you're lucky. And so when I became an adult and I wanted to have skiing and snowboarding as a part of my life, I knew, figuring out how to access it was going to be a factor. And I have teaching experience and I love engaging with people. So I went the ski school route and I did Monday through Friday, full-time job. And then every Saturday, Sunday, I was at Hoodoo and did that for 7 seasons, going on 8. So.
And you said a word that starts with H that is very near and dear to my heart, which is hoodoo. Because back in 1986, I went to a Warren Miller kickoff the season film at Oregon State, and someone was there from Hoodoo, and they had this little placard out saying, "Come try out to be an instructor." And I did. And it was a real tryout. And somehow I got chosen and started my instruction career at Hoodoo. So when I heard that you were from Hoodoo, I was just like, yes.
Truly, I've had the pleasure of exploring many other mountains. And each one just delights me in its own way. But Hoodoo has a special something. There's something going on up here in these mountains where I call us an island of misfit toys. We really are very open to whatever oddity and joy you are. And if you can bring that to the snow, when I came, I had already been skiing for many years and I had teaching experience. I did not know how little I knew about skiing until I tried to be a coach. And it was fantastic, the amount of education that I got and camaraderie that came with it in learning how to be better at coaching skiing. And I don't think I could have succeeded as much as I have if I had done it at another place. Hoodoo is unique and awesome.
How can you be anything but awesome with a slogan of steep, deep, and cheap?
And our mascots, we have Harold the Hodag, and then we also have unicorns all over the place. It's very joyful.
Well, and 1 year later, I was in graduate school and contacted Hoodoo to see if I could teach part-time over winter break. And they needed somebody full-time. So I left graduate school to teach full-time at Hoodoo Ski Bowl 87, 88.
Amazing.
And then I started coaching racing on Hood in the summer. I was like, wow, I can do this year round. How cool is that?
Isn't that one of the greatest gifts? Like, skiing has always felt like such a privilege to me, something that you only can do when you have, your parents can afford it and they have the time to take you guys up to the mountain. And, and then it's maybe 1 or 2 trips a winter if you're lucky. And, that was, normal. So anytime I get to spend up there just feels like such an enormous privilege. So even though I was doing 7 days a week of work for many winters in a row, it always still felt like a gift, because if I wasn't showing up, I wouldn't get to be on the hill. And so it was so worth it. So worth it.
So you said you started in the full-time job and worked 2 days a weekend as well. What is your full-on track into the snow sports industry? Where are you now?
Well, I was still a weekend warrior up until a couple of months ago. Our ski school director, Dominic Weber, he was transitioning away from Hoodoo Ski and Ride School, and he's starting a nonprofit that's going to help homeless teenagers with their recovery and education. And so that's a really fantastic project that he's working on. But we needed to fill that position, and I know how much I love Hoodoo, and I have skills and experience from other parts of my life. Like when I got out of college, I started my first teaching experience, like formal teaching experience, was at a maker museum, a place called Kid Museum in the DC area. If anyone's ever heard of it, it is so much fun. And the whole concept is that we learn by doing, we learn by making things. And sometimes the learning is is easier, more organic, and more honest if you're starting from a place of curiosity and creativity. What happens if? And I've been able to carry that into how I teach. So when students, instead of looking at me to tell them what to do, I go, well, what happens if you tilt that one ski? Like, what happens if, you know, you try jumping? Would it work? Would it not work? I don't know. Let's find out. And it's so fantastic. And so I pitched my name into the ring of, you know, could I maybe be a part of helping lead this team? And Hoodoo saw something in me and they're backing me. And so I'm going to be the director of Hoodoo Ski and Ride School going forward. And it has been so exciting to really engage with my team and work with the other departments on how we can maximize Hoodoo and share this joy and this secret smile that you and I have, because we know how good it is with everybody who comes.
So this is now really full-time year-round.
Yeah. I've also just recently now, I to do this job full-time, I left my other work. So I'm committing 2 boots all the way full send for snow sports instruction. And also we were living in Eugene up until about a week ago, and we relocated into the Redmond area so that we can be closer to the hill.
Wow.
So there's a lot of transition, but it's really exciting to get closer to our community that already exists up here. And in a weird way, I know it's end of June, but it does feel like the season's right around the corner, and I'm so excited.
It is. You know, it's funny because writing dates down yesterday, I was like, it is 6 months to Christmas, June 25th.
We're almost there.
So we only have a few minutes left, but I want to talk about the importance of mentorships and mentors in your life. And I know Hoodoo has someone very special who had a huge impact on me and is still up there teaching and had taught there for a number of years before I got there. And that would be Donna Sanders. And I mentioned her name to you to ask if she was still there, and you lit up.
Yes, Donna is so many things. We call her Hot Donna. And she's been a mentor to me in so many different ways. And she, more than just her wisdom and experience, because she's been teaching at Hoodoo for more than 60 years now. There are people who I teach with who are level 3 on 2 disciplines, who have skills coming out of their ears, who she taught them their first lessons. And they're still on snow together. She's also just an incredible, what's the word I want? Force of nature, because, you know, she's had multiple knee replacements and she's still out skiing. And I love that about her. So she has all of this experience. She served on the board for PSIA for a number of years. And she has all of this wisdom from working within this industry, but she really inspires me. And I look at her every time and I'm like, I can't wait to be like Donna. I would love to be like her. And that is a gift that I have. And it's because she's there and she's just doing her thing, and it inspires me and it makes me feel a sense of belonging. And so her support, we also have an incredible trainer on staff, Janet Nelson Schofstal. She's amazing. I love Janet to death. And these women have really helped me feel so supported. And even when my skiing hasn't been my strongest, or even when I feel these moments of doubt, they help me feel like this is where you should be. You are doing your best. You are doing well. And every time I go out and ski with them, I get a little bit better. And it just is so wonderful to have that. I often encourage anybody, really, but if you're looking around you and there's nobody there that you want to be like, and there's nobody there that you think is just rad and you want to maybe learn from them or be a little bit like them or be like them when you grow up, if that's not in your zone, then you probably are in the wrong zone. Like, you should find some people that inspire you and make you feel like there's room to grow and people who are backing you to get there. So I've been very blessed to be receiving all of that love from Donna. She's my Grams. She adopted me. and it's just been an incredible addition to my life. And yeah, we're very, very lucky to have her.
I got to say, Janet Schofstal was my primary trainer when I got my 3.
Yes,
She and
she's
Marcella.
so cool. I love it. I love it.
So it's amazing to meet you. I could go way down memory lane and it would be so much fun. But thank you so much for joining us. Anything you'd like to say to the membership in conclusion?
Ooh, to the membership. Let's see. Attention all skiers and snowboarders. The snow is coming. And I mean, always the message for me is just find your Stoke. Just whatever the thing is that makes you feel epic out there. Like for some people, it's ripping and being the best because they really are. For me, it's that feeling when you're like alone on a trail and you're just floating and maybe the snow starts to sparkle a little. Like that's just, it's what I think about in the hot months. So keep thinking snow, everyone, and find your Stoke because it's so worth it.
Grace, I think Hoodoo is very fortunate to have you and made the right decision bringing you in as the new director. And we at PSIA-AASI are very fortunate to have you as a member.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. From the PSIA-AASI Satellite Studios in Portland, Oregon, I'm George Thomas.